Hello everyone. Welcome one more week and welcome to this second part of our English lesson today in Aprendo en Casa. I am teacher Jonathan Elizondo, and as usual, it's a pleasure for me to be here. More than that, I am humbled to be your teacher today. So before we start, I know you have been really busy today, probably. You have been doing a lot of things and your brain needs to focus on what we're going to be doing. So let's exercise our brain. I have this riddle for you. Do you know what is a riddle? It's a question that you need to answer. You don't necessarily have to think logically. Sometimes you think outside the box. So I have stand, I have a line, and I have the word I. Think about the answer. What is that? What is the meaning of that? That is an expression. Now, some clues. Think about the position of the word I. So we actually see that we have I, and then this line is dividing that. Is the line under, over? What is the position? Yes? So this is I understand. I understand. Do you get it? It's not a joke. It's a question. It's a riddle, right? I understand. Actually, that is one of the most common expressions in the English language. So now that we are ready and relaxed, in the mood to learn, let's grab all the materials that we need for our class. As usual, we need a pen or a pencil, a notebook, some paper, a sharpener, and an eraser. So, did you like that avatar that I had over there? Yes? Well, that avatar was created by one student. His name is Ruben Soto. He is from CTP SIT in Heredia. Thank you, Ruben, for such a great avatar. And you're actually going to see that that is very similar to our topic today. Now, we are not ready yet. You have the materials, you have the space, but have you invited everybody in your family? Go ahead, invite your friends, your mother, your father, your siblings. Tell them to join you there in the sofa or in front of the table where you are, and they can actually be together with you and learn the language together. Also, I want just to remind some of the things that we have been studying in past weeks. We started by looking at STEAM, right? Remember with teacher Laura and with myself as well, we talked about STEAM and STEAM careers the other day. You also talked about smartphones and how it is good or bad for you. We talked about digital footprint. That was actually one of my lessons in the past. And then we talked about inventions as well. And also today, you actually heard Analu talking about robot birds in our previous lesson. So what do all of these have in common? Do you remember? What do these words have in common? Yes, they are science and technology, right? All of these are related to science and technology. But today, let's see what we're going to be doing. So in today's work, we are going to extract specific details from a video related to science and technology. That means we're going to be listening. Also, we're going to recognize formal and informal language styles in an email. This is very important if you want to write an email in the future. And then we're going to identify specific language features, those key aspects that tell me that an email is formal or informal. And of course, we're going to be writing an informal email about the use of these avatars in our daily lives. So you see, our topic today is avatar, all right? So now, I want to tell you that the other day, I went online, I found this application for my phone, and I created an avatar. Do you want to see my avatar? Let's look at my avatar that is going to be here. So you see that avatar? Do you like it? Do you think we look alike? Look at us. Well, in this case, he is not wearing a bun, but I think we look alike, right? I really like that one. And I have a question. Do you know the meaning of the word avatar? Well, maybe you are thinking about this picture over here. That is a cartoon that we have for avatar. And we also have this other one right here, right? That is another type of avatar. I know you are very familiar with those. But actually, no, those are not the meanings of avatars we're going to study today. I brought a video from the Voice of America, and this is a video about different types of avatars, okay? Before we go into details with the video, remember that we're going to listen to that. But before we actually listen to that video, we're going to look at some vocabulary that is necessary to learn for the video, okay? So the first word is represent. You see that hammer over there that is very common in law, and when you talk about trials and juries, we talk about that, or we have that image. What is represent? I have the meaning. You know I love meanings from the dictionaries. This one is from Merriam-Webster Dictionary, and it says that it is a verb, and it's to bring clearly before the mind. But I want you to look at the definitions 2 and 4. Number 2 says to serve as a sign or symbol of. So this hammer represents the judge. It is a symbol of the judge. Or to serve as a counterpart or image of. If I talk, for example, about the lawyer represents me. That means that the lawyer is kind of my image, okay? Our next word is the word carry. So you see carry over there, and the man, he's doing something. Let's look at the sentence that we have there. He carries the boxes. He carries the boxes. So carry is basically when you take something from one place to another. That is to carry. The next one that we have is the word place. And in this case, it's not the noun, it's actually the verb. So you see that in the picture, the man places the star. So place is actually to put in a very specific spot. So he is placing the last star. And our another word is computer user. So look at that picture. Think about the meaning. What is the computer user? This is a compound noun because it's two words forming just one definition. So let me tell you that the computer user is a user, or a user is a person who utilizes the computer or network service. So when you're using a computer, in this case today I have a tablet, I have a computer with me, and I am the computer user, okay? And the last word that we have for today is the word Hinduism. Look at those symbols. Actually, those are representations. Remember the word represent? Those are representations of Hinduism. So let's look at the definition again from the dictionary. It says that Hinduism is the dominant religion of India that emphasizes Dharma with its resulting ritual and social observances, and often mystical contemplation and aesthetic practices. So Hinduism is our religion, as many other religions that we have in the world, okay? So we have looked at the vocabulary that we need, that it's very important for us to understand the video. Remember, always, when you want to watch a video, when you want to read something, look for vocabulary related to the topic, because that will be better for you to understand. Now, before we watch the video, I have some questions for you. And this first question, it's kind of a general question, okay? Let's look at the question that I have prepared for you. What are the two contexts the reporters mention for the word avatar to be applied? Let me repeat that question again. What are the two contexts the reporters mention for the word avatar to be applied? Now, this video is from the Voice of America. It's a website specialized to learn the English language. And we're going to watch that. And remember, two different contexts that they are going to mention, just a general idea, okay? Are you ready? Let's watch the video.
Welcome to the Voice of America's News Words.
This week's news word is linked to computer technology. Avatar.
This is AV1, an avatar that represents a child who is recovering from a long-term illness and cannot go to school. The robot is carried between classes by the child's friends and is placed on the desk where the child usually sits. From home or a hospital bed, the recovering child can also participate in class.
On the internet or in computer games, an avatar represents the computer user.
In Hinduism, an avatar is a human or animal form of a Hindu god on Earth.
All right. Were you able to get the answers to my question? Remember what were the two contexts that the reporters used in the video for the word avatar. So let's look at the board over here and let's see the answers. Number one, internet or computer games, right? Internet or computer games. That is actually the man referred to that. And what was the second one? Do you write notes? Remember, I want you to write notes, okay? So it was Hinduism, right? Okay, now we're going to listen for a second time. But this time I want you to focus on specific details. And I have prepared some questions for you. 3 basic questions, because this is a very short video. Let's look at the questions that I have for you. The first question is, what is a specific use the video mentions for an avatar? They give an example. What is that example about? The second question is, what is the name of the robot avatar? They actually mention the specific name for that robot, okay? And the third one, according to the video, who do avatars represent online? Okay? Do you have the questions? Take a picture if you want and be ready. Okay? Yes? Do you have the questions? All right. So we're going to watch for the second time. Pay attention and write down your answers, okay?
Welcome to the Voice of America's News Words.
This week's news word is linked to computer technology. Avatar.
This is AV1, an avatar that represents a child who is recovering from a long-term illness and cannot go to school. The robot is carried between classes by the child's friends and is placed on the desk where the child usually sits. From home or a hospital bed, the recovering child can also participate in class.
On the internet or in computer games, an avatar represents the computer user.
In Hinduism, an avatar is a human or animal form of a Hindu god on earth.
Excellent. I'm pretty sure you have the answers. Maybe you're still finishing your answers there in your notebooks or thinking about your ideas. Okay, I'm going to give you some more time. 3 questions and you needed to answer them. Let's look at the questions and the answers. Yes, shall we? Okay, so here is question number 1. What is a specific use the video mentions for an avatar? Can you tell me the answer for that one? They mention one example. So that is to represent ill children at school. Great. I know you got it, right? They talked about the child that is in the hospital or at home, and they are actually being represented in the school by the avatar. Now, regarding this same question, what was the name of the robot avatar? What is the name of the robot avatar? Do you have that one? Okay, that is AV1. I am sorry about the question mark I missed in the question number 2, because there should be a question mark. Now, that is AV1. And the last one, according to the video, who do avatars represent online? According to the video, who do they represent online? Because they talk about Hinduism and they say that it is a representation of a Hindu god on earth, but in this case, it's a representation online. Let's look at the answer. It says that it represents the computer user, okay? So let me tell you that every time I am on the computer and I design one of these images, that is my avatar. So I can have that image in many different places, okay? Now, let me tell you what we're going to be doing today regarding the main task. I told you we're going to be writing. So this is the thing. Remember the avatar I mentioned at the beginning, my avatar? So one of my friends actually sent me an email asking about that image, where I had gotten it and what were the main things about that avatar. But I haven't replied. I need you to help me reply to my friend. First, we're going to look at 2 different types of emails because I have 2 versions of the email my friend sent me. And we're going to actually look at those emails and analyze them to identify which one is formal, which one is informal, and then we are actually going to write an informal email, okay? So I have the two emails over here. You see, we have on the right-hand side one that is shorter. On the left, we have one that is a little bit longer. So let me read the first one for you. It says, "Dear Mr. Elizondo, I hope you are having a great week. I saw the picture you posted on social media. It was a great cartoon. However, I have a question about the way you created it. I wonder what the name for these images is. Would you be so kind to help me out? Thank you in advance for your help. Yours sincerely, Anthony Cordero." That is my friend, okay? Now let's look at the second email. It says, "Dear Jonathan, I hope you're doing great. The other day, I saw the nice pic you posted on FB. I really liked it, but I wanted to ask, how do you call these pics? And how can I use it? Talk to you soon. Best, Tony." So my question to you is, start thinking, which one is formal and which one is informal? Okay? Before you give me the answer, I want to look at the vocabulary and at the structures. Remember the features that we have for the email. So let's look at this one that I have underlined for you. Dear Mr. Elizondo versus Dear Jonathan. Which one do you think is formal? The first one or the second one? The one to the left or the one to the right? Well, the one to the left, Dear Mr. Elizondo, is the formal one. When you want to be formal in an email, you write dear and you write the title, Mr., Mrs., Miss, or Ms., and then you also write the last name of the person. You can also write a title like master or doctor if you know the title of the person, the academic title. The other one, Dear Jonathan, is very friendly. It's like one friend to the other who is referring by my name. That one is a little bit more informal, okay? Let's look at another phrase. I hope you are having a great week versus I hope you are doing great. Which one would you consider informal? I hope you're having a great week or I hope you're doing great? Well, yes, I hope you're doing great is more informal. However, I hope you're having a great week is not 100% formal, but it's a little bit more formal. So it's kind of neutral, let's say, okay? One more statement that I underlined for you. Picture you posted on social media versus pic you posted on FB. Which one is formal? And here we're going to look at one of the features of formal and informal writing. So if you said pictures you posted on social media is the formal one, you are right. Because we're not using abbreviations, we're not using acronyms. You see that on the other email, it says pic for picture and FB for Facebook. That is the abbreviation of Facebook. So actually that one is very informal. Let's see one more. And this is just one word. However versus but. Which one is formal and which one is informal? Well, let me tell you that here I cannot say that one is formal and informal, but however is less common. As I like to call it in Spanish, it's palabra de dominguear. A palabra de dominguear is basically a word that you use only on special occasions. I remember my grandma used to say dominguear, like when you get the best clothes, those are the ones that you wear on Sundays, right? So however is less common than the word but. And finally, I have the closing. Yours sincerely, Anthony Cordero, versus best, Tony. Which one is informal? In this case, best Tony, right? Because you're just finishing with something very short and you're not giving your full name. That is very informal. So now, from these two emails, which one is the informal email? Because that's what we're going to be doing today, writing an informal email. So which one is the informal one? The one to the left or the one to the right? Yes, you're totally correct. The second one, that one is an informal email, okay? So now that we have actually gone through the features and the main characteristics of the emails and which one is formal, which one is informal, remember that I told you I want you to help me reply to my friend. I haven't replied. So I want you to help me, but we're going to write an informal email, okay? So let's think about the different phrases that we can use. So what are those phrases that you think we can use in the greeting of an informal email based on what we just saw? You're right. We have hi, hey, and dear Tony. We also have in the middle, we can say something like, I am glad you liked it, or that pic is called. You see we're using the word pic, the abbreviation. I created it with, and you can use it in for the places where I can use it. And as a closing, we can have bye, regards, best, and love. Okay? So those are the different expressions. Now, I know you are probably not able right now to write the email yourself, but we're actually going to look at an idea that I have, and I have a challenge for you. I want you to write your own email. You know, my friend was asking for help, and I want you to think about the uses of an avatar and write an informal email to one of your friends. If you don't want to write it about the avatar, you can actually write it about STEAM careers, or you can write it about robot birds, or any of the other topics we have covered. But that is a challenge I want to give you today and leave you with today, okay? Go ahead, take some paper during this week, write a short email, and maybe you can send it to your teacher, and they are going to be more than glad to check it for you, okay? Now, do you want to see the short email I came with, the short idea that I have? Let's look at my email. So it says, hey Tony, it is great hearing from you. Now, this one is a very informal expression. It is great hearing from you. That pic is called an avatar. I created it with an app called Bitmoji. That is an app that I use to create my avatar. You can use your avatar in PowerPoint, videos, WhatsApp messages, Facebook or FB, or Instagram. I hope this helps you. Best, Jonathan. So look at the email and see how I actually used all the different expressions. Hey, best at the end. I used words like pic, or I used FB. So basically when you look at this email, this looks very informal. And that is something that we need to learn how to do for the future. You're about to graduate high school, and in the near future, you're going to be sending emails to your teachers, to your friends, to your professors at the university. So make sure you use the right expressions, okay? Because we don't actually want to be very informal or too formal if you're writing to a friend, okay? So now, it's time for us to start self-evaluating our work today. We are almost at the end of this last lesson for today. So let's look at some of those questions. But I don't want to ask you the questions. What I did is something different. I brought the spin wheel today. So look at that spin wheel that I have for you. And it has 5 different questions. Let's see which are some of the questions that the spin wheel gives us. So let's spin the wheel. And let's see, it's spinning right there. Let's see which is the question. Did I carry out the tasks? I hope you're saying yes at home, that you carried out the tasks. You were able to do the listening. You were able to identify the different vocabulary that we had in the emails, and that you were able also to write something. The next question that I have for you, let's spin the wheel one more time. It is spinning right there. And let's see what the question is. Was I prepared with my materials? Maybe I caught you off guard. Maybe you're like, what? I didn't have the materials. So I encourage you next time, make sure you have all the materials that you need for your classes, okay? And the last question that I have for you today. Let's spin the wheel one more time and let's see which is the question. It's spinning right there. And the question, did I listen carefully? That is very important, to listen to what our teachers say, right? And listen to all the instructions that our teachers give. Now we're going to move to the evaluation. And in this evaluation of learning, we have achieved, in progress, or not achieved. So you see the person that is really happy, the other one, or not achieved. I extracted specific details from a video about the definition of avatar. I hope this is a yes. All right, excellent. The next one, I recognized formal and informal language styles in an email. I hope you're also saying yes. The next one, I identified specific language features found in formal and informal styles in an email. Yes, I achieved it. I hope you did. And probably this one you haven't achieved, but you will. I wrote an informal email about the use of avatars in our daily lives. Yes, remember that that is the challenge that I have for you this week, okay? So I have one last question for you. Let's see the question over here. What other uses can you think of for digital avatars? Which are some of those that you have, okay? I want to leave you with that question. Remember, I am teacher Jonathan Elizondo. It was a pleasure for me to be here with you today, and we'll see you in our next classes. Bye-bye.